You're listening to The Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa. The Tide 100.9 app.
Studios in Los Angeles. Here's Eddie Garcia.
News from the NFL, where Cincinnati Bengals star wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase did not participate in practice on Wednesday as he was expected to. Head coach Zach Taylor also said that Chase would be playing in the season opener against the Patriots. Taylor now saying he may have spoke too soon, he may have put his foot in his mouth, and that they are now taking things day by day. The Pittsburgh Steelers named veteran quarterback Russell Wilson as the starter for Week 1 against the Falcons over Justin Fields. In baseball games of note, the Guardians rally to beat the Royals 7-5. Cleveland avoids being swept in the 4-game series and now reclaimed sole possession of first in the AL Central, 1 game up on Kansas City. Battle of division leaders, the Astros crushed the Phillies 10-0. Yordan Alvarez 3 home runs for Houston. Battle of 2 of the top teams in baseball, Dodgers beat the Orioles 6-4. LA's lead in the NL West is at 3 games on Arizona. Yankees lose to the Nationals 5-2. New York's lead on Baltimore for first in the AL East is still at 1 game.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. But you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. It's Martin and Xavier. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. We want to invite you to get in on the conversation once again with Box Eye Care, powering the day. Box Eye Care, boxeyecare.com. 205-342-0660. Hey, listen, if you're looking for a great way to make sure that you can see clearly into your future, Box Eye Care can help you. They are located at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. Oscar Baxter Drive in Tuscaloosa. They have a great new location. They've added an in-house lab, which gives you competitive pricing, great selection, great inventory, and guarantee that you get out there with a great look in most cases in 1 hour. Or check out Box Eye Care, boxeyecare.com. Good morning, X. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Take the show, son.
All right. So yesterday we covered the SWOT analysis. We had the Alabama Legacy score prediction that we will be continuing today. The tiebreaker is Ryan Williams receiving yards. We'll also hit season first touchdown, first sack, first turnover, as well as we'll hit a little recruiting. Not much in the news of that, but expect Alabama to continue its ways on the recruiting trail. And then we will also hit we will also be hitting the depth chart and some of the depth chart positions that have been a little bit of questions. The right tackle, wide receiving group, and the first group of cornerbacks. But we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. And remember, you can join us on the Empowerment Strategy Solution Hotline at 205-342-9904. And we're kicking it off with season first. So with season first,
before we get into that, Before we get into that, we always started off with this. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. You take some time today, and I will also to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world. And as X said, the hotline is open for business. You can get in on that hotline, Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline, 205-342-9904, or join us on Facebook, live stream at your chat, your questions in the chat, comment, react, etc. at on the Facebook page, The Martin Houston Show on Facebook. And like I said, we're live, local, and ready to get things rolling. It's Martin and Xavier right here on your home for Alabama sports. We can't do it without you and wouldn't want to. So let us hear from you. And once again, let me get those scores for the Alabama Legacy Collection score prediction. Ryan Williams tiebreaker score. Back to you, X.
So, all right, season first. For touchdown, I am going to go with a Jalen Milroe touchdown run. I think we start off this season like we did last season. I think he's going to do it on a rollout. I think he's going to see something and use those legs to get into the end zone. What about you?
So your first touchdown is Milroe, but off of a good snap.
Off of a good snap, yeah.
I think
this one up this year.
I think his first two rushing touchdowns last year were off bad snaps, and he made plays. I think. Let me see. It's really based on how quick we go into the wide receiver bag. Okay, X.
Okay.
What I mean by the run game. If we go into, I think we're going to score on the first drive. Okay. I think we'll score on our first offensive drive. If Kendrick Law touches the ball on a run, he scores. So that's my caveat. Okay.
Really?
That's my caveat. If we run the reverse, Kendrick Law is going to get that first one. If we run the reverse, if we don't, then I'm going with the running back room. And I'm going to go with whichever guy starts the game. All summer, it had been Jam until he got hurt. I think Justice has been running ones. They're 1A, 1B. So whichever guy starts the game will get the first rushing touchdown. And it will be of the 25-plus variety.
Okay.
So I'm being pretty specific there. But go ahead.
No, that's pretty specific. So 25-plus yard running back room, and it's whoever gets the start.
Yes, hold me to it. Now, if I nail this,
I'm gonna hold you to it.
If I nail this, I'm gonna need everybody to call me up and we'll see if we can go on the road and make some money.
Chase, do you have somebody for the first touchdown?
I was wrestling with this with Wyatt yesterday. We don't know, honestly, because I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game for sure. Like I think Bama's going to just steamroll Western Kentucky. But maybe Jam Miller? Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't.
Hey, that's it. All right, X. Well, it's obvious that we both think the first touchdown is going to be a rush touchdown. All three of us think that. Chase said Jam Miller. I said Jam or Justice, whichever one starts the game. And you said a rollout, a pass call, but a rollout touchdown run by Jalen. Who gets the first receiving touchdown?
Ooh, I am going to go with Kobe Prentice.
Oh, wow.
I think everybody's going to be focused on Bernard. I think the utility of Law will cause people to focus on him. As you said, the reverse, the ability to get the ball to him in multiple ways. But I'm going to go with Kobe Prentice being the guy that's a little bit forgotten in this top group of wide receivers.
Okay. Oh. And I'm going to do a similar thing. If it's a pass touchdown, it's going to be the tight end room.
Okay.
And if it's inside, like the red zone inside of the 15-yard line, it's going to be Oots. See, I'm going out on a limb, man. You can't if it's down in that gold inside the 15 to 10, it's going to be Oots. If it's outside of that, it's going to be Dupree. First receiving touchdown, tight end room. I should be writing all this down because I won't remember it.
Chase, do you have somebody for the first receiving touchdown?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be Jeremy Bernard. I think Jeremy Bernard is probably going to be a dynamic weapon this weekend. I don't think Western Kentucky's defense is any that good. Even though the attention he's going to get from their defense, I think he's just too good to not get the touches he's going to get. And I think it's going to be maybe like a quick slant or like a little go route inside the 20-yard line, like in the when they're kind of looking for a touchdown. So I think it's going to be Jeremy Bernard, honestly.
Yeah, exit, and I'll do crazy again. Watch this. You ready for another crazy prediction? If Ryan Williams gets in the first drive on the Western Kentucky side of the field, they send him on a go route, and he gets the first touchdown.
Oh, you just made Pat's day. I know you did.
Speaking of Pat, we need to get the break here, but we want to invite you to get in on the conversation. Pat, we'll get you on the other side of the break as we continue to move along. The Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline is open for business, 205-342-9904. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. I want to thank the great folks over at Dixie Battery Supply, helping take care of business each and every day. They buy junk batteries. You can find the commercial batteries you're after. They'll take care of all your battery needs. Power up any device that you have out there, any device, they can help you do that. And you should never feel powerless again. When you visit Dixie Battery Supply, you can count on finding every kind of battery you need from top battery brands. Our battery stores always stock with plenty of batteries in various sizes and types, like golf cart batteries, marine batteries for your boat, etc. And also, they have some reconditioned batteries that start at $39.99 plus tax with exchange. So go check them out. That's Dixie Battery Supply. And while you're there, ask them about the golf carts. Don't forget to ask them about the golf carts. 205-758-9190 or visit them online at DixieBatterySupply.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Thursday morning to you. We're getting off to a heavily brake-lit start on Joe Malisham as you travel in both directions right at 2059. You've got some heavy road work or heavy delays there. And then we've also got
make sure that we give that to them each and every time they come and visit us.
The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco Gaza.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny today. The chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms this afternoon or this evening. The high today 97, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow morning sunshine, isolated storms by afternoon. The high 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Max Sports. As we get ready to kick off this second half, remember you can get your score predictions in on the Alabama Legacy score prediction, the tiebreaker being Ryan Williams passing yards. Remember, you can do that on the Empowerment and Strategy Solution hotline at 204-342-9904. As we kick off this quarter, we have Pat joining us on the hotline. How you doing this morning, Pat?
Good morning, guys. And as Dolly Parton said, if they're not talking about you good or bad, they're not. You're just not relevant. But so, hey, I'm glad to see that Martin Houston agrees with me that Ryan Fowler will have the first touchdown, and it will be a bomb from Jalen. Just like he did in practice. Speed kills, guys. But my question this morning, where in the world do we go for a third wide receiver, and is Turbo going to stay in this class? Because I've been hearing rumblings that he may not.
As far as Anthony Rogers, the running back out of Carver High School, I haven't heard anything that has him on the move. Now, granted, a lot of things can happen and take place between now and early signing day, late signing day. I know he's expected to graduate in December. But as of right now, I think we have two running backs in this class, and I think Turbo's one of them.
Okay. That's all I was. Go ahead.
And you mentioned a third wide receiver, right?
Yes, sir.
I think Turbo has the ability to be a Emmanuel Henderson. I mean, he's a guy, when you look at him, he's 5'9", 190 pounds. He could be a smaller running back, or he could be that slot receiver. So I think he has that ability, because if you look how he's been used in high school, he plays a lot of wide receiver as well. So I think he's a 2-for-1 and then you just find out what he's better at the collegiate level.
Well, I mean, Deere's a jack of all trades too. Kind of just like the guy down there in lost some Elba, Alabama. The kid in Elba, Alabama.
Oh, Henderson.
Anywhere. Henderson can play anywhere, and that's the. And right. I think that's the same thing about Deere. Do you not agree?
Are you saying that you think Deere may be?
Deere reminds me. Yeah, I think Deere might have the ability to line up at wide receiver. You kind of look at how Daniel Hill, who's a part of this 2024 class, his high school used him a lot at wide receiver, everywhere, all over the field. I think you could see a little bit of that from him.
From who? Deere?
Deere, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think. Hey guys, I mean, I'm going to disagree with you guys on that. I think Deere did all of that in high school because he's clearly a superior athlete to everybody he was playing against. I think, Pat, did you watch, ironically, did you watch much of Washington run the ball last year? Washington's offense? They had a kid from Mississippi State, and they were a physical running,
Dylan Johnson.
Yeah, they were a physical running game. Look at the two guys that Alabama has that will be the next guys up. I mean, the three guys. Richard Young is, if I'm not mistaken, he's a little bigger than Justice and Jam, right?
A little heavier, yes, he is.
Okay. Then there's Daniel Moore, who's Daniel Moore. That's
Daniel Hill.
Yeah.
Daniel Moore is the dude to do the pit paintings. Daniel Hill, and then Deere. I think you can see the size of the running backs maybe telling you a little bit more about Kalen DeBoer and what he likes in a running back too. And that doesn't mean he doesn't like these two guys. I'm just saying that I think you're going to see more physical run game than what we expect out of a wide open spread offense, because people don't fully grasp that just because you're spread out don't mean you're not a physical football team.
Exactly. I got you there. But I went to that deal last night, but hey, that was a production last night for sure. They had people came and sat at my table. And, wow. I mean, it was unreal that the amount of people that showed up for that thing. And we really didn't learn anything there. But I'd been better off coming to church with you last night for sure. But I'm really excited though about this deal, and are y'all all in agreement that that my man Ryan Williams is going to have at least 125 yards?
I'm gonna let you hold on to that one by yourself, Pat.
Yeah,
really? Okay.
I will call you. I will call you the man, Pat, if that happens, and then we'll have to. Pat, I promise you this: if he gets 125 yards, you will be able to call our show every day if you want to.
All right, that's the deal. Man,
that's the deal.
You guys, hey, have a blessed day, and I'm sticking with 48-7 on my prediction score for this thing. That Alabama's defense is going to be a wall, and they're not going to relent to these people. And even late, I don't think our defense is going to relent to these people. But I'm excited about it. All right. Have a blessed day, guys.
Have a good one. Hey, we got J-Rob joining us on the hotline. How you doing this morning, J-Rob?
Good morning, Houston. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Hey, I'm going to disagree with you guys on the first touchdown. I think it's going to be Kendrick Law. I think it's going to be on some kind of little reverse type play. It'll be a handoff, so it will be a run. But Kendrick Law is my choice to be the first touchdown back to Alabama this year.
Okay. How far out you think it's going to be? A long one, red zone?
20 yards, 25 yards, somewhere in there. It won't be a very, very big play, but it'll be a misdirection type play. And what other games this weekend are y'all guys interested in? I know there's a few matchups that are pretty good. You got USC and LSU. You got Clemson, Georgia, West Virginia, and Georgia Tech. No, I mean West Virginia and Penn State. There's a few good matchups for the first game of the year. Which ones are y'all interested in?
Shoot, the USC LSU game, I'll definitely be keeping my eye on that one. You said the Clemson Georgia game, but there's a game tonight that a lot of people probably aren't talking about because nobody has faith or a lot of people love to hate this guy and his team, and that's the Colorado North Dakota State game. And I think even though it's North Dakota State, I think that'll kind of let you know where Deion and his Colorado program is, just with the caliber of teams that North Dakota State normally puts out.
Interesting. What about you, Martin?
Well, for me, a couple of interesting games. Of course, the Georgia Clemson game, and I'm so excited that it's early. Don't have to wait all day for it. 11 o'clock tip-off. I think an interesting game. Texas A&M has flown under the radar, and they played Notre Dame. So good chance for the SEC to make a little noise there. Good chance for the SEC against Clemson, even though I'm pulling for Dabo. And then Florida, Miami is another one that is of interest to me as well. And then USC, LSU. So the SEC has a chance to really, get 3 victories against, the ACC, the independent, or I guess technically the ACC, Notre Dame falls in there, but they can't win the conference championship, so I still call them independent. And then, of course, the Big Ten with SC. So that's the teams I would think through. And by the way, you may have missed the very beginning of the show. My first touchdown was a reverse to Kendrick Law.
Oh, I thought you said it was a jam. It was a jam and justice. Because was going to score the first touchdown. I'm sorry, I said
no. What I said was, if they run the reverse on the first drive, it'll be Kendrick Law. If they don't, then the first one will be whoever starts at running back.
Oh, I did not hear that. I wasn't trying to.
No, you're fine.
I really thought I was being original, so I'm sorry about that. But
hey, J. Rob.
Football guys.
Hey, J. Rob, have you ever heard the what's the tagline for our show? It's the sound of Bama sports. So we're gonna talk 99.99% Bama sports. But then it says your show, your team, which means, hey, man, we open up the phone lines and you guys can help us host this thing and bring the content. And sometimes we're going to have the same opinions. Sometimes we're going to disagree, and sometimes we're going to be somewhere in between. So you have a right to that. And if you nail it, you were unconditional. I hedged my bet with Law. You came right out and said it's going to be Law.
Yeah, well, I enjoy your show. Usually me and you agree on a lot, but I enjoy y'all show. Y'all are doing a good job. Y'all keep up the good work, and roll tide.
Roll tide, J-Rob.
Roll tide. Hey, we're going to go ahead and get to break here, but remember, when we come back, we're going to talk some more Alabama first this season. They're going to be the first sack. Who's going to have the first turnover? But, hey, remember, you can join us on the Empowerment and Strategy Solution Hotline and get in your predictions from the score as well with the Alabama Legacy score prediction. We'll catch you on the other side.
All right, it's the North River Timber Company. North River Timber Company, timber harvesting, appraisals, and land management. Courtney White and Chase Pearson will take care of you. They've been doing it. Courtney's been a registered forester for 11 years and counting. They focused on 4 West Alabama counties, but that number continues to grow. And hey, listen, Courtney White says, if you have land, it's like having money in the bank, and they believe that they can help you maximize it. That's North River Timber Company, LLC, North River Timber, CO @gmail.com, or call 205-242-5127.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Thursday morning to you. We're getting off to a heavily brake-lit start on Joe Malisham as you travel in both directions right at 2059. You've got some heavy road work or heavy delays there. And then we've also got a little...
These changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. Want to remind you that we have our free-for-all Friday coming up, and that's powered by Pharmacy, the pharmacy at Midtown. So go check them out for any of your prescription needs. Also want to remind you that tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll have the West Alabama High School Pigskin Preview Show. So that'll kick off tonight at 7 o'clock. The game of the week is Northridge versus ACA. Northridge versus ACA. We'll also highlight a few other contests from around West Alabama, and that's brought to you courtesy of Houston HydroSteam, Houston HydroSteam. Go check them out. Jackie Houston and his team do an awesome awesome job. So go check them out. Carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, and you can reach them at 553. Let me make sure I get that number right. 553-9490. 9460. 205-553-9460. Carpet and upholstery cleaning. Quality work you can literally stand on. That's Houston Hydro Steam. Been in business for over 35 years. Give them a call for all of your steam cleaning needs, and they will make sure that you're taken care of. And once again, that's the West Alabama High School Pigskin Preview Show tonight at 7. X and I are looking forward to talking with you. All right, X, I'll toss it back to you.
All right, before we get back into season first, we have Denon on the hotline, and he wants to talk about the expectation of this Alabama team this season. How you doing this morning, Dan?
D-Nun, right?
Hey, Martin, it's D-Nun.
D-Nun, yeah. Okay.
D-Nun, okay.
Hey. Pronounced D-Nun. That's okay, man. You'll learn. We D-Nun and I just old, and we go back a while.
I've been called a lot of things thanks to my name, so I take everything.
Yeah, I think if you put an M, hey, you and Saban kind of have the same problem potentially, right? D-Nun?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the other night, I think that some people, based on the reaction, we were at the Pigskin kickoff that they had the other night, and John Hannah said, Satan is not a believer. And that's how people look and start looking around. I forgot to tell you about this act. I think people think he said Saban.
Oh, man.
And, of course, D-Nun, if you swap the N with the M, people, I'm sure you've been called the demon. So, but, hey, listen.
At work, I've had a lot of folks look twice at my shirt. They said, okay, I thought that said demon. My bad. I thought, man, who in the world was named their child demon?
All right, man. I'll toss it back to you.
Hey, man, I've been seeing, I guess, the naysayers, this, that, and the other, kind of got into a little discussion with an LSU guy at work a little while back. Everyone, I think there's a lot of wishful thinking going on in the college football nation, expecting a huge drop-off after Saban. And I'll be one to argue, I think really and truly overall, Alabama is in a better shape that I guess post-Saban than LSU was. And LSU lived off Nick Saban and still is. I mean, he got it set around. I mean, I had relatives. I have my dad's aunt in Louisiana. She made me promise one day that if I ever got to speak to Saban, thank him for turning Saban, bringing LSU back and putting them on a place they'd never been before. And I think overall, like I try to tell people, I think Alabama overall is a lot better off than what LSU was post-Saban. Some folks may disagree, but I believe we have a better coach in the wings than what LSU had after Saban. I mean, Orgeron, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of thin there. But, I mean, overall, I think we're in a lot. I mean, player-wise, I think, thanks to NIL and everything else, I mean, Saban didn't leave LSU's cupboard bare, but I think we have a lot, I'm going to say easier task of restocking because I don't think it's that much different than what Saban left us with and what LSU was left with after Saban left. Because he had them on a road to, Orgeron, I ain't going to say lived off Saban for a while, but had a lot of success for what Saban, post-Saban, I guess.
Well, I tell you what probably what hurt LSU more than anything was how quickly Saban ended up at Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're only talking, it's only a 2-year time period. And if you go back and look, how many, Les Miles got the one national championship in 2007.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have to play Alabama in 2011, he probably has a second. How many of those situations are there that LSU was a game or two or a game away from potentially playing for a national championship, but the reason they didn't was because they ran into Alabama and Nick Saban?
because of Nick Saban. Yeah, trust me, I've got my dad's relatives down there in Louisiana. They'll never ever tip their hat to Nick Saban. Now I will say this, like I said, my dad's aunt, she was 71, 72 years old. Her last few years, other than when Saban was here, she made me a promise. She said, "If you ever get," I did. I told Coach Saban one day. I said, "Look, I have to fulfill a promise. My dad's aunt in Louisiana told me to tell you thank you for what you've done for LSU. You brought them back, put them on a path they may have never been on without him being there." And he looked at me kind of funny. He said, "Will you tell him?" I said, "I appreciate it." I said, "Well, sir, she passed away about a year ago." And he looked up at the sky and said, "Well, I guess I told her myself." He kind of tipped his hat a little bit and said, "Got a lot of friends down there."
Yeah. And D9, I would 100% agree with you on a couple points. One is that was in the championship game. How many times did LSU end up one loss away from playing in the SEC championship because they had to play a Nick Saban Alabama? So Les Miles would have won probably 3 to 4 championships. The SEC still would have been the dominant conference because when LSU wasn't winning it, Mark Richt would have been winning it. So both of those guys, ended up losing national championships because they had to go through a Nick Saban Alabama. As far as your original point in your call, D9, I believe without a doubt, if you ask me right now, if I had to choose Nick Saban when he ended his career, not the Nick Saban the GOAT that brought prominence to Alabama that will never be matched potentially. I used to say never be matched, but now I have to put the word potentially in. Kalen DeBoer and this staff is better positioned this year and moving forward than I think Nick Saban because of his age and his inability to get the coaches he desired. And if you give me Nick Saban and this coaching staff, I feel fine. I feel good. You give me Nick Saban and last year's coaching staff, I don't feel good about this season.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer insert, this coaching staff insert, what he did with the portal. I believe the other night, this was said at that pigskin kickoff. They said, Cedric Burns said, Bear dominated his era, won a national title, multiple national titles. Stallings dominated his era. What people forget is Stallings had 70 wins in 7 seasons, which was dominant at the time. Okay. And then Saban did it. And I believe that Kalen DeBoer in a different era will have a similar dominance. I think there's more good teams now than there was when Saban ran through the league. I think the road is tougher, but I think Kalen DeBoer is the right guy for this era of Alabama football and moving forward.
Well, and the thing about it is, you can go back and look at this. Coach Bryant, Coach Stallings, all great coaches, if they have any kind of honesty ingrained inside their body. Coach Bryant would tell you, my staff was the best thing I ever had. He was a great coach, don't get me wrong, but he always gave the credit to the staff. Coach Saban, I think, any great coach out there has got to realize you're only as good as your staff underneath you. We've seen that with Coach Saban now, like you just said. The people under Saban for years and years and years and years went off to be great things everywhere else. And that kind of started tapering off toward the end of his career where, folks would take players, coaches from Coach Saban's staff, but they didn't go on and be the great that had been before, I guess. I don't know.
There wasn't a lot of upward movement.
Oh, no. There's a lot of lateral movement, but there was no progression after that because I really and truly, of the last 2 years of Saban's staff, can we really name one of those coaches that would go on and be a great head coach one day? Saban had a lot of guys, first 10 years, had a lot of guys go on to be great coaches, head coaches. Can we say that?
Well, Sark is the last one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sark was the last one that went to be a head coach somewhere once he left here. You had other guys, once again, lateral moves or, lateral positional moves, but potentially a drop off in in job, because you look at Golden, it made a lateral move as far as position, but Ole Miss isn't Alabama. Ole Miss isn't necessarily a school when you go, oh, that's where I want to go be a head coach, because that'll get me to the next, or a coordinator to get me to the next step.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's a lot of fun to talk. I mean, like I said, I got a lot of different fans. Being at Mercedes, you got a lot of different fans, a lot of different areas. You got a team, you got a certain college down south of here in Montgomery that's praying that we're falling off the map. And I'm like, look, you're down there looking up. You don't want, we're not going to be down to your level anytime soon, so don't worry about that. But I've always just thought it was always interesting. I mean, like I said, I believe if Saban never makes the move out of LSU, we're still talking about the great teams of LSU and Bama's. God, I hate to say this, we're a mid-level team still, because we couldn't, I don't know, maybe not mid-level. I don't know, maybe not that bad, but that's the biggest thing. My relatives at LSU's like, man, if he hadn't, we would have been y'all. If he hadn't left, we would have been y'all.
Yeah,
said,
we flipped.
Totally agree.
We flipped
Totally
spots.
agree.
We flipped spots.
Oh yeah. Hey man, God bless Martin and everybody at the show. I appreciate everything. I don't get to listen to you a lot because usually I'm at work right now, but headed north all the time. I'm gonna take my dad to a few doctor's appointments, and other than that, man, just want to say about 3 months cancer free now. All glory to God. I'm gonna.
That is awesome. That's awesome, Dina.
Awesome.
Hey, do you have a score? You have a prediction for us before you get out of here with Ryan Williams yards?
Oh man, I'm still think it's gonna be like in that 57-13. They'll score a little towards the end, maybe. I don't think we're going to have much trouble. I think we'll be maybe the beginning. It'll be a slow start, but we'll get our feet underneath us and go.
All right.
57-13.
How many yards for Ryan Williams?
Oh man, Ryan Williams, that's the boy. That's the David Palmer of 2024, I think. I think he'll end up. I mean, he'll break a few. I mean, he may break one. I don't know with his speed. And, he is a David Palmer. These young folks got to Google David Palmer and just look at it. 77.
All right, 77. All right, hey, that's D-Nun, and D-Nun's in with us on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline. You can get in on it and get your Alabama Legacy Collection score prediction in. As we get the break here, we want to thank the folks over at the venue. They're hosting their fifth quarter on tomorrow night, and the venue is Tuscaloosa's newest hangout, Liza's Sweet Shop, Finney's Pub, and all-day breakfast by Rama Jamma. That's the venue, and they'll take care of you. We'll tell you more about them on tomorrow, and I want to remind you that tonight we have the West Alabama High School Pigskin Preview Show, thanks to the great folks at the venue and at Houston Hydro Steam and Taco Casa and more. We'll be back on the other side to put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show.
On the next Inside the Locker Room with Coach Wimp Sanderson and Barry Sanderson.
Tune in Thursday. We'll get you ready for the next Blue Plate special brought to you by Chuck Norwood and the RE/MAX Realty team. Also at 7:30, J.C. Sherbrooke will join us. We'll go around the SEC and look at the games with J.C. Tommy Ford will join us in the second half and talk about his new podcast, Crimson Chronicles. Plus, we'll take your phone calls throughout the show.
Inside the Locker Room, weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Thursday morning. Alabama's ranked in the top 20 for traffic fatalities, and that's important with the Labor Day holiday weekend upcoming. In 2023, the state had 13.8 deaths per billion travel miles, 10.3 fatalities in urban areas, 18.8 fatalities in rural areas. Leah Trooper Corporal Reginald King says the three biggest factors are speed, inattention, and not wearing a seatbelt. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. It's free throughout the day. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We crept up on an accident here on Skyland Boulevard, northbound at McFarland Boulevard, and this is going to knock out a lane. Traffic is already starting to tighten up in the area. Otherwise, the construction zones will also make you tap on those brakes a bit if you're traveling on 2059.
Taylor Electrical sounds really customer friendly. How can I get in touch with y'all?
Just call or text us at 205-553-0958.
It's electric. Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It's the Harvest Church 2-minute warning. I'll toss it to you, X. Just check Harvest Church out. Love where we love God, love people. Take it away, sir.
All right, as we get ready to wrap this show up, going to hit a couple more season first. Who's got the first sack of the season?
Oh, you want me to go first? Yeah. I'm going to say LT Overton. LT Overton. LT has been dominant this summer, and I think that quickly translates into the football field on Saturday. So I'm saying right now, X, that LT Overton. First series.
Chase, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with LT Overton as well. I think it's going to be a big year for him. A lot of people are going to be surprised with how well he's going to play for DeBoer. I think he has a lot to prove, and I think because of that, it's going to be a game changer, I will say. Watch out.
I am going to go with Q-Rob, Quindarius Robinson. I think he finally gets a breakout year as well. Fifth-year senior, was a part of that 2020 national championship team. I'm going to go with Q-Rob. First turnover on the season. Who you got?
Well, X, and the reason I say that LT gets it before Q-Rob, he's going to get it on their first pass play, which may very well be the first play of the game. So I'm saying, like, I told you, man, I'm going. If you're gonna make predictions, go ahead and make big predictions. Don't be playing around with it. All right, first turnover. Oh man, first turnover. Let's see, X. Can I put a caveat based on what type of turnover it is?
Sure.
If it's an interception, I'm giving it to one of our new transfers in the safety position. In the safety position. So I'm going to say Sab, my first choice, but it's going to be pressure applied by Moore. So the two safeties are going to combo up. The quarterback's going to be under pressure from Malachi Moore. If it's a turnover, if it's a fumble on LT Overton's first sack, he knocks the ball loose.
Who recovers it?
Who's
going to recover
it? One of the linemen. If Otis or Smith.
Otis or Smith. Okay. Chase, who you got?
You writing all of this down, X? I heard you like you're writing it down, so.
Who you got, Chase?
Man, that's a hard one. I want to say, I'm gonna say Malachi Moore. I think it's gonna be a strip sack. I feel like Malachi Moore. I feel like it really could be an interception though, depending on how TJ plays. I'm gonna go interception. I think it's gonna be an interception by Malachi Moore. I think it's gonna be a one-on-one kind of matchup between him and the wide receiver. I don't think it's going to be like deflected or anything. I think it's going to be more of just like maybe like down the field, like a long, like maybe like a seam or something.
All right, who you got at?
Okay. I am going to go with one of the freshmen. I'm going to go with Xavier Brown. I don't think we get one on the first drive. I think we force a punt. But I think that second drive, because of the team is early in the season, get these guys some reps, you're going to see Xavier Brown in the game early. And I think TJ Finley, who's been known to be a gunslinger, is going to try to target the freshman. And I think he's going to pay dearly for it.
Yeah, I can see TJ giving us some freebies. I think we'll have multiple interceptions. So, and yeah, what you got?
Hit the depth chart, and we can continue this tomorrow. But who's going to be the first right tackle out?
I'm saying Formby, because nothing happened all summer to change that. So I have to go with Formby. And kudos, if it's Formby, it'd be first time in a while a Tuscaloosa kid has, come out the gate this early in their career and started.
Yeah. Chase?
When kind of Martin puts it like that, that'll be huge for the Crimson Tide if a Tuscaloosa kid could do that. And knowing Kalen DeBoer, I feel like he would. I think Formby is a good player. I think he kind of proved it this fall camp. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Formby as well.
Okay. And I'm going with Formby as well. I think, as you stated, nothing has been done to change that. To see that shakeup. And I kind of gave away my answer for this next one. But who do you think the second corner is out?
Actually, let's hold that conversation till tomorrow. So we can get into it just based on time and everything. Let's hold that conversation. So for all of you out there listening, you can get in on that conversation tomorrow. You can call us on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline at 205-342-9904. If you want to learn more about Empowerment Strategy, go to empowermentstrategy.com. Go check us out there. Empowerment, and it's the letter M, empowermentstrategy.com. That's the hotline. It'll be open for business tomorrow, so we appreciate you jumping in on that on tomorrow. All right, for Xavier Houston, for Martin Houston, for Chase Brumfield, for the Martin Houston Show powered by Box Eye Care, we thank you for tuning in with us today and want to encourage you to go check out all of our great sponsors: Box Eye Care, North River Timber CO, Dixie Battery Supply, Houston Hydro Steam, and more. Hey, don't forget, tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll have the West Alabama High School Pigskin Preview Show. Remember this: trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.
Going on right here, a celebration to last throughout the years.